Welcome everyone. This is Excel Module 4. This is the textbook project and it's entitled Creating a Chart. So it tells you in the instructions how easy it is to create a chart. It does talk about the Quick Analyst tool, which unfortunately does not exist for Mac users, but maybe in the next version it will. So I am starting on number 1 and it tells me that I need to change the name of it to U.S. Quarterly Expenses. So I will do that. And I already have it done. So let me just choose this one here. And yes, I will replace it. So now we have it saved over here. So I've saved the file according to what it wants us to do. I'm going to select the range A4 to E12. And I have the Quick Analyst tool here, and it tells me to go to Charts. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you how to do it if you have a Mac, because you probably will not get that. Just insert it the normal way. So click on Insert and Chart. I always like to use the All Charts in here. And it wants us to do a clustered column chart in here. So I will choose a clustered column, which is right here. Click on OK, and that creates it. That's the exact same thing as if you were going to use the analyst tool over here. So now we have the custom column chart over here. We're going to switch rows and columns. What that'll do, actually, it'll change these basically around in the data. So you'll see the cities will be switched out, and I may have done the wrong thing. Should have been A4. I did A5. So let me delete this, which is good because then you can see it again. So I'm going to go to Insert and Charts. Oops, don't want pivot chart. And we'll do All Charts and we'll do Clustered Column. And that looks better. So what's going to happen when we switch, you're going to see the names and the quarters should switch. So let's click on that, and you can see now the quarters are here, and this is down over here. So then I believe it wants us to do a switch row in here. So I've done the switch row, then it wants us to undo. So now we're good to go here. So what happens when I did that, notice that you have 1, 2, 3, 4 bars, which is the quarter. But if I switch rows, now you have 6 bars or 8 bars for representing the cities. So that's all what that does. And let's go now and put a chart title in here. So it wants us to put in JCL, quarterly expenses. And now, right now, this is a font in here. I had to change it to Times New Roman to get it to take. If you get that same issue where it marks you off and says that you did not do it, then change it to Times New Roman. So I think I'm going to do that right now. And click OK. Of course, I need to select it first. So if you get marked off for it, this is a setting on your computer. So if you get marked off for it, try changing it to Times New Roman and see if that clears it up. So we've done that over here. And let's go back, but don't change it unless you get marked off. So we're going to move and resize the chart. So it tells us to position a blank area up here, move it to A16. So that's pretty easy. So let's just click on this over here and move it to A16. and then it wants us to change it to go all the way to the right edge of column G. Now, if you're having trouble getting it where you want it, make this a little bigger, and that gives you a little bit more flexibility. And then you can go back to 100% or whatever you like to work with. I usually like to work with 120. So you just choose whatever that you feel comfortable with. So we're good there. And then this is number 4, we're going to use the quick layout button to change some things around. So let's go and click on the quick layout, and we'll do layout 1. Now it's telling me to click the legend and select it, press and hold the shift to legend and use it to the bottom of the plot area. Well, that's this over here. This is the legend. So I'm using the shift and dragging it down. You can just move it without using the shift over here. So you click appears in here, so that takes care of that one. Scroll up necessary to A7 and type Miami. Here's A7, so we'll just type in Miami. That is number 5. Number 6 is select a chart and click Chart Tools Design, and we're going to move it. You don't have to do that. You can just right click and choose Move Chart. So it'll tell us to move it to a new chart, and it wants us to name it column. If you didn't want to do it, you notice that if you click the chart under Chart Design, there's Move Chart there. Either way is the same thing. That takes care of that section. We are now in 4.4. We're going to change the chart design and do a bunch of stuff. So we're going to click the US Sheet tab. And we're going to type in D11. It wants to type in 477520. 4775.20. And then it will actually reflect automatically in the next one in the actual chart itself. When you go into Boston in Q3, notice that it's changed automatically in there and updated. That is number 1. Let's see, select a chart, clicking back in here, chart tools, click layout, and then we're going to do layout 3. So let's go into the chart design, and don't confuse quick layout with layout 3. So actually, let's see, we want to do quick layout button. Actually, I got to read these things, and here's 3. And then it tells us to undo it. So that is number 3, 2, and 3. Now we're going to do the change chart in here, and we want to change it to a bar chart and then change it back. So you can see the difference in here. So we're going to go select chart type or change type in here, and we want to go to bar, click on bar, and you can see how that changes. That's kind of hard to read, and then it's going to ask you to undo it. So let's see, next thing is number 5. We're going to change the type button to a 3D clustered. So let's go to change chart type to a 3D clustered. So this should be this one here. And then they're going to say that it's not easy to do. It tells us in here. So again, it wants us to change it back to the chart type to just a regular one here. So you're kind of looking at the different chart types as well. So now it wants us to do style 3. So we'll just go 1, 2, 3. And is that 3? That is 3. And I'm just reading ahead in here. Then it says undo. So that undoes that. Then it gives you information about creating a combo chart, which you can read on your leisure. So we're going to do right over here. It wants us to remove the grid lines in here. So that's pretty easy. So we're just going to click to get the plus sign, and you can see grid lines. If you just uncheck it, they're gone. That takes care of it. And if you click this plus sign again, that takes and removes that over here. Then we want to click the grid lines arrow and the fly. I'm going to click primary in here. So let's go in the charts element again and grid lines, and let's click on here. And it wants us to click on a primary major horizontal. So that's the primary major horizontal. And it does give you an explanation about what the primary, major, and minor ones are. So you can read that at your leisure. Click the axis titles checkbox, and we're going to add that. So here's our axis titles. So that gives us a one down here, and then the horizontal one as well. So for the horizontal, we want to type in U.S. offices. And I'll click anywhere outside. And let's see what it wants for the vertical. So we have, I'm not seeing vertical access in here with the vertical access in terms of expenses. Oh, okay, expenses. All right. That's one of the disadvantages, as I've said a few times, of me talking and trying to go back and forth between different monitors. It's easy for me to lose my place. So we want to type in expenses. So that takes care of that. That is number 2. Number 3, click the horizontal axis on the chart. And we did the U.S. offices. Right-click the labels New York over here. So we're going to right-click, and we're going to change the font. So it wants us to change it to Times New Roman 12. So we'll click over here. You don't have to scroll all the way down. Just type in Times New Roman and change this to 12. Now, if you click the arrow, it's going to be 9.1, 9.2. So just select it and type in 12 yourself. With the horizontal axis still selected, we're going to go and we're going to do the same to the vertical. So let's keep making sure it's selected. We're going to go home. We're going to use the format painter, and we're going to do the same to expenses. So that looks good. In the effects button, let's see, let me read in here. Right-click the chart title. And I'm sure we're going to do format chart. And then we're going to do a border. So we want a solid line. Let's see what, here is our border. And we want to put in a solid line. And let me see if it has a specific color. It says a solid border with the default blue color appears above the top. Well, this unfortunately is not blue. So let's go and just change it to blue. And I'm going to click outside just to make sure it's there. So that's what I did when I did it the first time, and I did not get marked off for it. So let me go and finish it. We're going to do shadow effects. So here is shadow, and it wants us to do the offset bottom right, which is the first row, first from left. So we want to go to presets, offset bottom right, and that's looking kind of nice. That's number 7. Number 8, we're going to add a data table, which I'm not a big fan of because it puts a whole bunch of stuff on the bottom, but let's do it anyway. So let's add a data table, and you can see how you have all this stuff. So now you have the quarter 1 and quarter 2 duplicated, So let's go and see if they tell us to remove it. So we're going to remove the legend, which will take care of this over here. And we have it over here, so we don't really need it. That was number 8. And I'm looking at what we should have, and it looks pretty good. Remember, always constantly look at what you have done so far to make sure that there's no little issues. So everything here looks pretty good. And it gives you some explanation about working with the chart access. So we're going to do a format a chart. So we're going to fill a series of data, series, and data style over here. I'm going to end this video over here, and we'll call it part 1. Then I will create a part 2, which will do 4.6 to 4.9.